This empty chair represents the addict who died today, not knowing recovery was possible.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to our 22-23 season of This Empty Chair, a live podcast for the addict that didn't know recovery was possible. And what a great way. It's September, it's Recovery Month, and we're kicking off with two amazing speakers this evening that will share their experience, strength, and hope. Most importantly, their hope with individuals out there so that people do know that recovery is possible. Before we get started, I just want to thank all of the sponsors who made this year possible. We have Atkins Carpet and Flooring, Alternative Healthcare and Family Services, Discovering Methuen, Enterprise Bank, Essex Flooring, Essex County Outreach, Greater Lawrence Family Health Center, Haven of Hope, Lawrence Methuen Coalition, Meta Addiction Services, R&R Welding and Fabrication, Title Boxing in North Andover. And as always, a big shout out to Lou. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you for your dedication to us. And most importantly, also to Costa Broadcasting for allowing us the opportunity to use their facility. So again, welcome. If you're just tuning in, this is our first night and we're kicking it off with two amazing guests. If you don't already know, August 31st was the Overdose Awareness Day. And we placed 2,290 flags on the lawn at the Methuen Police Department. That's the number of individuals that lost their lives last year to overdose. And that's way too many lives. So that's why we continue to do these live podcasts so that we can bring hope to individuals that are out there. There are some people that could be actively using, and we just need them to know, like, there is a way out. There is a solution. Before we get started, I always want individuals to know about events that are happening in our area. And if I don't mention something that is happening, feel free to put it in the chat so that we can get you. I'll make sure I did that. We can make sure that people know where it is. First and foremost, I went to an amazing event today. It was called the Recovery Conference, and it was in Elliott, Maine. And talk about amazing people coming together to help decrease the stigma to addiction. It was awesome. There is a recovery coach certification training starting. It starts September 24th, and it will be 4 Fridays in a row. And it will be North Shore College. And the contact for that is Michelle Simmons, who I adore. Michelle is, I graduated with her. So that's starting on September 23rd. And you can email msimmons01@northshore.ed. We have a speaker jam and breakfast fundraiser for Narcotics Anonymous happening September 24th at the First United Methodist Church in Manchester. And that's 9 to 12. There's a new hybrid fourth step workshop fourth step workshop going on, and that's going to be on Saturday, September 17th. All this information will be found on our website. There's a beginners meeting with all old timers in it, and it's 12 to 1:30, 7 days a week. So that will be running on Zoom. Celebrate National Recovery Month Friday, which is tomorrow, September 9th at 6 p.m. at the they will be remembering a documentary on the life of Chaplain Father Michael Judge. And he is pretty interesting, so that will be up on as well. We have the Soberfest, September 10th, live music, guest speakers, food, mocktails, entertainment. All of that's going on in Chelmsford, Massachusetts. This weekend, we have the Jericho for Hope and Healing Walk. That is meeting at Gar Park. Well, that's where it's ending. It's beginning at Common Grounds, which is 194 Winter Street in Haverhill. We'll start the walk there. It will end at the Common Grounds in Haverhill. There'll be live music, stories of hope, and recovery resources. I will actually have a table there, so you want to come on down and visit me. And Linda, Tommy's on. My friend Tommy.
Yeah.
And then we also have Float YPAA. It's September 11th. And it's at Sandown, New Hampshire, and it looks like it's a floating event. I'll have the flyer out on the page. And then we have Young Empowered Parents. There's an amazing woman who works in Lawrence, and she's hostessing these programs. Are you a young parent looking for support and help achieving your personal and education career goals? So you want to reach out to Christina Pagan Jimenez, and I will have her information up as well. There's also a cookout on September 17th. This is not AA related or anything like that. This is for the veterans. So it made it into my pile. So here it is. And then Haverhill campus is having Haverhill Northern Essex Community College on the 13th from 12 to 1:30. They're having a professionals learn more about human services and what it details. And for interested folks who want to go back to school. And then I have my numbers, which is why we continue to do this stuff. So since January 1st of this year, in the Merrimack Valley, which consists of Methuen, Andover, North Andover, Lawrence, and Haverhill, we've had 316 overdoses, with 30 of those ending in fatalities. And that's a lot of individuals losing their lives. And I believe tonight's show is dedicated to an individual who lost his life. And John, why don't you tell us a little bit about him when Linda has the picture up?
Yeah, hi, this is Sean Crowley, who passed away a year ago, July 5th, 32 years old, a union electrician. And he made the mistake of trying to go back out there one more time. And, he had some sober time, 3+ years, and he just tried one more time, and he passed away. So very sad.
Yeah. So tonight's show is dedicated to him, and we just continue to pray for his family. And I know you just lost someone from your home, actually, over the weekend, last weekend, because the services were this week.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what this addiction's real. It's powerful, cunning, baffling. It wants us dead, and it's killing numerous of individuals. So that being said, welcome to tonight's show. I have two amazing speakers. Linda, I met in 2015. God has allowed our paths to cross, and we have remained friends ever since. And with her comes this beautiful gentleman, John, who I'm blessed because of her, I get to know as well. So, Linda, why don't you share a little bit about your experience, strength, and hope, and let the audience get to know you.
Okie dokie. Thank you so much for having us and
Yes.
having me.
Yes.
Before
you start,
yes.
you know who suggested to have you guys? Boo Boo.
He did.
Yeah, he goes, why don't you have them on? I go, that'll be a crap show.
I know, you called us the dynamic duo.
So that being said, that's who has you on.
I know. And the crazy thing is, years ago, no one would want me on any show.
Yeah.
Or, a part of
The only
anything.
show you'd be on would be like New Center 5.
Yeah, really. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes, my sobriety date is April 12th of 2017.
Amen.
I just celebrated 5 years, so I'm a whole hand.
Woo-hoo! That she is.
Amazing.
Yep.
For me, so I'm going to share a little bit of my experience, hopefully strength and hope. I have 3 amazing children.
Amen.
For me, it changed in my 40s. So, I literally thought, and there's that word again, I always use literally.
My coworker hates that word.
Nice.
No, it's essentially. I'm sorry. It's not
okay, good. Legit. So for me, I know, it changed for me when I was in my 40s. And again, being a nurse and a mom, and, I was married at the time. So a lot of life factors were playing a role. So when the slow change started to happen and I became more dependent on alcohol, I could put it down. It was just so baffling, like you had said, Cole. And I was using, what was happening around me. My kids were getting older. They didn't need me as much. And I did not see like the progression of the disease. So I just thought, again, it was all like life around me. And, at the end of the day, the glass of wine turned into the bottle of wine, turned into the box of wine, turned into hiding the bottles of wine. And, I truly did not think I was an alcoholic. I had it definitely in it. I was not an alcoholic because I wasn't underneath the bridge and just all of those stereotypical things that you think an alcoholic is. And I was later on in life. So I was like, no, alcohol, an alcoholic is someone, that it happens to right away and they know. And I had no idea about the allergy. I had no idea about the progression of the disease. Nor at that time did I want to. So with that said, it, again, progressed to the point where, then it was the bottle of, vodka and, hiding it. And again, the baffling piece of it is I could white knuckle it and not drink. And I tried control drinking and I tried all those things and, it worked for a period of time. But little did I know, at the time that, again, I turned into the pickle. I was no longer the cucumber. I was rewired and I had no idea. And my whole family, I'm the tornado now. I'm starting, they can see it. And so with the controlled drinking and at one point in time, because of the progression, so I started to sneak and hide the bottles and, when the kids were having sleepovers and just all these things. And I was so busy and so wrapped up with telling everyone that I was okay and that, just all those things, like so many feelings, and I had no idea, and I was spiraling out of control. So let's move on. So because of that, all these horrific things happened. Little did I know at the time that the pain that I needed to go through was to get me to where I am today. So with that said, I ended up divorced. I ended up, my kids ended up moving in with their dad. I ended up almost losing my house. I had to sell it. My family had no idea what to do. They did, but I wasn't ready to listen. People were placed in my life and I was like, yeah, I'm all set. And, being a mom, and I bring this up all the time, I call it a disease of lies. It is definitely between my ears. It tells me that I'm okay when I'm not. It just constantly lies. And what happened was I was so afraid that other moms would not allow my kids to be their friends. So I was like stuck. So I became sneaking and lying and just all those things. And to the point where I ended up with 2 OUIs. My first OUI, I attended my first AA meeting, my sister and a good friend of hers. And that was the first time I admitted I was an alcoholic. And I was so relieved, but I was riddled with fear because I had no idea, the seed was planted. But again, I have this way of not things seriously, but I was like, yeah, I got this. And, with this program, we never graduate. We have a daily reprieve. I know that now, contingent on my spiritual being, my inner, because it's an inside job. And I was always looking for those external things. I wanted you to fix me. So whatever you did, I would copy. However, then I would go back to Linda. So I'd be attending meetings, and I was introduced to amazing women. And again, all those seeds were planted. So my journey continued with my second OUI, which was my first. And then I put myself into treatment. And that's when I met Cole, and I attended the Haven of Hope. I went into sober living because basically at that point I was homeless. Mm-hmm. At the time, I would never admit that, that I had nowhere else to go. And thank God, God blessed me with this beautiful woman who showed me how to have fun in sobriety. Without a doubt, that, it wasn't all doom and gloom and my life wasn't over. It was actually just beginning. She taught me how to pray. I mean, there's so many things. And I took all of those tools, but again, my willingness, right? So I was still holding on to the old Linda, and I was busy fixing other people. And that's where I was comfortable. I was afraid to get uncomfortable. There was so many things, so many felt, as I call them, or so many feelings that I was so riddled with fear, and I had no idea until I started, the 12 steps. And little by slow, I'd get to step 4. And then I was like, yeah, I'm all set. Yeah. And I just kept putting Band-Aids on myself. And I would present like I had it all going on, but nothing was changing, And so I moved on from there. And that's where I got my second OUI in a complete blackout. And I could have killed myself or someone else. And I was actually arrested in my home. And again, a blessing because I didn't kill anyone. But I was found guilty of that and placed in jail. And I was like, how can that be? Now I'm sober 6 months. I also put myself into treatment again, a very strict sober house. And again, I was busy doing everyone's chores. And people were calling me out in my shit, basically. And I was like, didn't want to hear it. I take some things and leave the others and just kind of do the drill, but not really do the drill. So up until when I ended up in jail, after that, I had this breathalyzer. And I almost lost my job in this, like, so much. But I don't want to, again, the progression of. So for me, believe it or not, one of the most important things was that breathalyzer. I had to blow into it 3 times a day. Mm-hmm. The nursing board also got a hold of, when I was found guilty with my second OUI, also got a hold of it. And so now I had to do drug testing. So I lost my license for 2.5 years. I had to go to drug testing. I had to get to work, like all of these things. So I had to start to reach out for help. Mm-hmm. Oh, what? And I had to ask for help, and I had to walk through some serious uncomfortability. But blowing into that breathalyzer gave me time. Yep. So I didn't have my to-go-to, my release, my whatever. It like forced me. So it
held you accountable, right? At a whole nother level,
right? I
can't sneak.
Yeah,
I can't. I'll get caught.
Yeah,
you can't.
And I'll end up in jail and just all of those things. And so that started, again, my journey of me start to open up and be willing. And granted, I was kicking and screaming, but again, showing up. And because people had to take me to meetings, I formed these great relationships with some incredible women. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. It's very emotional because I was so bound and determined to hold on to. And again, looking at it, it was just all fear-based. And if I had known, if I had a crystal ball, like I didn't need to go through all of that. And so today, I do work hard. I definitely reach out to another woman. I believe that the program in getting connected with women in recovery and just being a part of. So now, having sponsorship and just that fellowship of other women, because I come out and I'm like presenting like I got it all going on. And they're like, yeah, no, what's wrong? And I'm like, what do you mean? So again, just showing up. So for me, that has given me truly a second chance at life.
Yeah.
So what I do today is, I had gone through the 12 steps and now I'm going through them again. And my parents are older now and they require more, but I can be present to help them for their appointments and just be a sister. And I'm working on, my relationship with my children. And because I was such a tornado, there's a lot of destruction that goes along with that. And again, the guilt, shame, remorse, and just all of those things. And I'm truly not the same woman that I was, but I thought that I was going to have to change like everything, which I had to change everything. However, it's in stages. So like when you first come in to the program and, it's the fear of coming through the door. Like, I'm not going to admit that I'm anything, I'm just here as a visitor or whatever, I'm just checking it out.
I'm here for support.
Yes. Like whatever it is, like the lies. So at the end of the day, it was the biggest gift. And now looking back, and I'm doing the steps again, and just looking back where I was when I did the steps before, and then, like I keep saying I'm doing a living amends, and eventually I'll get to the point where I do a sit down amends and stuff and just follow it. But just so grateful because I have a relationship with the higher power, my spiritual soul, like just so much. I feel like I have so much to share and I want to keep it simple because if you're coming in or if you're new, just hold on, just show up, just be present. Like we'll get you. We just will. It's, you just have to stick around. And it is truly like, I don't have to lie. I don't have to sneak. I don't have to, just all those things. Do I get upset and lash out? Yeah. But then I know right away, like the things that I used to react to that I had no control over before, like, and I thought I was totally in control. Like I can give it away today. Like I didn't know I could do that. Like I didn't know that it's okay to say no. I didn't know that it's okay to be upset. Like, just all those things. I was always told, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, suck it up, you got this. And we never really knew how to like express myself or whatever, or say no. And my rewards were always like to give of myself to others and then see them. It's crazy, but I never thought I deserved that. Does that make sense?
Of course it does.
So, this program has given me that. And without a doubt, we've been there. We know the feel. I truly could not even like say the words, like the feelings that I couldn't even put a pen to paper and express myself because I was in fear of breaking into a million pieces. And God did for me what I couldn't do for myself.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Here I am, like one day at a time. That's all we have. It doesn't matter how many years someone has. It's a daily reprieve contingent on, just being present in the program. And I mean, truly the blueprint for life. There's so much, and I can go on and on. And
so go back to the moment of when you relapsed. And then along comes the second DUI. Do you know what caused that relapse? Like, can you speak a little to that? Were you not connecting? Like,
I was not connected.
Okay. And it was
acted like I was connected.
Yep.
I actually had a couple of other people. I, moved into a winter rental and invited sober other people.
Yeah.
And
so we thought.
So we thought exactly. And then one relapsed, and then I, it's just, and just the sneaking and the just not being real, like authentically. I wasn't able to be me. And I have a lot of growing up to do, but I'm doing it in this program. Like things that used to upset me or didn't go my way, and then I would like blame, or it's like not the plan. Or if something happens, I'm like, all right, what's the lesson? Like it gets twisted again. So where I turned into the pickle,
Yeah.
like, thank God I'm not that cucumber anymore, because my way of thinking was so distorted. Like,
That's the alcoholic.
yes.
You know, for people that don't know, like, it's a disease of the mind. It's a disease in the brain. You know, it's drinking was, but nothing that just calmed us down actually internally.
Right.
But made us lions outside. You know?
And then just from the like medical standpoint, again, starts the phenomenon of grief, and it starts it all over again. It's like that, you know, I just kept just swirling around.
Yeah.
Just like, when is it going to happen? You know, and I had no defense.
Yeah.
This program gives me a defense. It gives me the foundation.
Amen.
So that no matter what happens, like,
Amen.
I don't have to turn to a substance.
That's right.
I just hit it head on, and I pick up the phone instead of picking up a drink.
Amen.
I try to share as much as I can, like, you know, and do I kick and scream or like go, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
But
all
then
those
it's
human things,
Yeah.
like, right? It's like the change is like growth. It's just those things that used to, you know, just irritate you and just set you on a thing where I'd be seeking relief. Like, I find relief in sober things. Like, it's just not my monkey, not my circus, like, you know, different sayings that come along the way, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what that means. And, you know, and I can walk away now and be present, and for my kids, and hopefully be a power of example. Like, so for me, you know, the damage, and I have to let, you know, my children like make their own mistakes, like do their own thing, but hopefully, you know, be that power to let them know that there is a solution, that it doesn't have to be, you know. And I was just untreated alcoholism.
Yeah. And you had said, you know, if you had that crystal ball, like the things that you didn't have to go through, but you also went through them for someone behind you. It was like, there's going to be a woman that's going to hear your story, who's going to be filled with, I had 2 DWs, I can't. And then here you are, and she's going to hear you. And that's how God uses us, you know. It's just about being transparent, being open, sharing our experience, strength, and hope. And you did an excellent job.
You're
so we're
never
going to
alone.
prepare for our first commercial break. I do want to say, if any of their friends are listening or family and you want to call in, the number is at the bottom of our page. It's 978, and I lost it. So hopefully, there it is, 6590072. So if you want to call in and say hi to these two, feel free. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and hear from John. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Hi there. My name's Phil Leahy, and I do the Empty Chair show here. And as much as Fran and I have enjoyed doing this show, our real passion is with where it all began, the Circle of Hope, my support group for the families of addicts. I learned a long time ago that dealing with an active addict is just too difficult. So we invite you to join our group, the Circle of Hope. Give me a call, 978-886-2949, and you'll see our banner on the show anyway. And give me a call, find out what it's all about. You know, if you don't think you're ready to sit into a group, Fran and I always invite people over to the house, and we sit down, have a one-on-one, and we talk about a plan you'll have to set up, how to deal with someone in active addiction, or just give you a chance to vent. So, I mean, if you or someone you know has dealing with someone in active addiction, reach out, give a call, take the first step. I promise you that it won't make it easier, but once you understand what it's all about, you'll be able to deal with it a little bit better. So again, 978-886-2949. Just ask for Phil. I'm always available 24/7. Thanks, and we'll see you on the Empty Chair. Bye-bye.
Hey, welcome back to the second part of the Empty Chair I know you all folks heard Phil Leahy's voice talking about the Circle of Hope. We also have 2 commercials in production right now, which is the Haven of Hope and LMCC. So you'll start hearing those commercials throughout this season as well. And speaking of Circle of Hope, this Monday night we have our first resource night, 6:30 to 7. NILP will be coming in to talk about peer-to-peer recovery, peer-to-peer services. So it's feel free to join us. And right now I just want to introduce John. And John is someone that I get the blessing of knowing because I know Linda. So along comes John. So welcome to the show.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
First of all, I'm John. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, John.
And I have a 2-part story.
Yeah.
And it goes to show that never give up.
Yep.
I had relapsed after 16 years of sobriety, and
That frightens me.
and I got hooked on pills, and I didn't think I'd get back here because it was a different animal for me. And now I'm coming up on 7 years clean and
Amen.
sober again. So it's been a blessing. But I'll give you a little bit of my background.
Yeah.
First of all, I did not want to be an alcoholic, and
Me either.
all over my dad's family, I knew what it was. And when I had some signposts early on, I was the guy they were saying, there's the next alcoholic. And I had a huge resentment over that. I'm like, everyone else drinks, why can't I? So, I left pretty much. I mean, I graduated, I got out of college, and I had my drinking career really took off in college. And I moved away from the home so that I could drink the way I wanted to drink, because clearly it wasn't a good idea. I'm the oldest of 6 kids, and parking the car on the front lawn and things like that weren't too accepted. So it did a number on me pretty quick. I didn't finish college as a result of my alcoholism. I dropped out after 3 years, and because I would rather drink and work and have my own place. That was more important. So spiritual loss of values, early on. And, booze did a number on me. I don't think you see how much booze takes from you until you get away from it and you start looking back. I mean, I was a smart kid, and I gave up a potential law career. I mean, because I picked up booze, and it became more important. I was able to maintain a job, making fairly good money, and that was my war cry. I go to work every day, and even though my drinking had progressed to the point that I was now a daily drinker in my 20s, and the beer stopped working, became a vodka and Kool-Aid, vodka and Sprite, vodka and whatever. And over time, the booze, I needed the morning drink in order to get out the door to work. And I went through that stage for a little bit, and then I just started getting sick. I started getting sick, and I hit a couple of detoxes to keep the parents off me, keep, girlfriend off me, work off me. But I don't know that I really wanted to stop drinking. I did put a little sober time together, but I relapsed after like 11 months, and I went down fast then. Yeah, I really went down fast. They say it's a progressive illness, and I attest to that because it really took me down fast. I ended up, the last detox I went for a long time was a public detox over in Cambridge. I had gone to a couple of fancy ones. This was not fancy.
Yeah.
Public detox. And it was, I got out of there, and I knew the drill. I knew the drill what to do. But I had to move back home because I couldn't stay sober in my apartment. I knew by myself, it was not going to, it's a disease of isolation. And I just knew it wouldn't work. And, the only rules was as long as you stay sober, you can stay here as long as you want and get your feet back on the ground. So, I did the drill. I went to work, I went to the gym, I went to a meeting, and I went to bed. And I did that for, a few years. And, I met my first wife at an AA meeting, and, everything seemed wonderful. We got together. We were together a few years. We decided to get married. We bought a house. We had 3 kids in 5 years. We're both sober. So what can go wrong? What can go wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And, and I learned that I have to keep my recovery first.
Yeah.
It has to be in the number one slot. And
Yeah.
it was for those several years leading up to kids and leading up to responsibilities. And I thought, I'm okay because, I'm trying to be a good husband, a good dad, a good worker, all of the above. And my meeting slacked off, and after slowly, it's like a subtle foe, alcoholism. And, it had got itself back on my back. That gorilla was starting to get back on me. And I didn't pick up a drink right away, but my thinking got stinking, as they say.
Yeah.
I was not connected with my sponsor. I was no longer going one meeting a week. And I started not doing the right thing. And in sobriety, I've learned if I'm in the boat, in the middle of the boat, I'm usually doing the next right thing, and I was hanging on to the boat, and kicking. And I destroyed my family in sobriety. And, I moved out of the house, started another life, I thought, and I was so full of guilt, shame, and remorse that it just got heavier and heavier. I knew I did the wrong thing. I was brought up with good morals, and I knew it was the wrong thing to do. And I missed my kids. I saw them still, but I knew it was wrong leaving the house. But I had no connection to AA. I totally distanced myself. And, at 16 years sober, I thought a 6-pack of Budweiser looked good. Nothing dramatic happened to make me pick up that drink that day other than to try to get rid of the guilt, shame, and remorse that I was just riddled with. And it was painful, and I didn't last too long out there drinking, but I picked up another foe. I had some surgery coming up, and it was about 11 years ago now, and it was a knee replacement, and they gave me some pain meds because they weren't going to do it right away. I was too young. I said, never had any trouble with drugs. I'll be good. What can happen? Well, 2 years of taking the perks before they did the surgery. And then the biggest problem is when they took them away after the surgery. And I didn't realize, I know what dope sick is now because I was dope sick after they took the pills away. And, and I realized that the only thing that made me feel better was more pills. And I took to buying them on the street, and which was a treacherous, expensive, scary, not where I belong experience,
Were they with fentanyl back then? Not
No,
yet, right?
no.
So you have no overdoses.
I probably wouldn't be sitting here tonight
Yeah.
because it was perks that I was buying, and at the end on the street, and we know now they're all laced with fentanyl, everything. And I probably wouldn't be here today, taking what I was taking and where I was getting them. And I knew I had to do something. I couldn't seem to get off those pills, and I had to get out of where I was living. And it was a toxic environment. And, my sponsor, I have 2 sponsors, both of them awesome. And he said, you got to do something different. And we took a ride by the Kelly House in Wakefield, men's sober house, and took a look at it. And I'd never been in sober living. And we went by, we talked to one of the guys and took a look around, and they were full. So I said, great, off the hook. Because I wanted to do something, but I really didn't.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, they had a bed for me. And that began my journey at the Kelly House. I've been there now almost 7 years. I've been the house manager 6 years. And it was the best decision I ever made going there. I would not be clean and sober today if I had not done that. I'm an emotional guy. I will try not to get emotional on this podcast, but it's almost inevitable because I have now the 3 kids that are 25, 23, and 21, are the joy in my life. And that's the thing I'm most proud of. And, I came real close to losing them out of my life. And today they're proud of their dad.
Amen.
They're proud of their dad. And they tell me that, when I took the job at the Kelly House, I had a full-time job already. And my mother was my biggest fan. I went over to her and she was sick with cancer at the time. And she said, Johnny, you can do this. You were put on this earth to help other people. And that answered my question, because she was always had the right answers, my mother. And I took the job, and I did have another full-time job, and I did have the 3 kids playing high school sports, and I was trying to drive all over the place to see all the games, and you know what? Got through it all. My parents died 3 months apart, year 3 at the Kelly house. My dad in October, my mother in January, and it was the most painful time of my life.
Yeah.
It was different pain, though, because I missed them, but I was there for them. And I felt the best gift I gave my mother, that I was clean and sober.
Amen. That is true.
There was nothing more that I could have given her at that point, and the last thing she said to me is, "I'm so proud of you." Her last words to me. The Kelly house has just been a godsend. It's 29 guys.
Nice.
Which is a lot.
Giddy up.
And the whole idea there is to just try to get guys plugged into recovery, and I explained to them what happened to me when I got out of it. You have to have a program, you need a sponsor, you need to get into the steps, and then you start feeling good about yourself, and it's a great way of life. I love being sober. It's just, that's what I'm here for. God put me on this earth not to be buying pills in the street or drunk, throwing up and missing. It's just not me. That's not what I'm here for. I can't wait for the rest of the journey to continue with my sidekick here.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a funny story how we met. Do I have time for this?
Of course you
quick.
do. No,
Okay.
because we have until 7.
All
So
right,
we're
well,
good.
My sponsor, Donnie, who is awesome, he has a meeting at his house on Friday nights at various times in the year. And I had been going, and Linda had been going, but we didn't know each other, really. And so Donnie's wife, Nan, who's in the program also, she calls me, says, "Do you think you could give Linda a ride over to our meeting tonight?" And I go, "Where does she live?" And she lived kind of near me.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay. So it's true story, going to Town Fair Tire after work, because it was that time of year. It was like late fall, getting winter tires on my car. So she says to her cousin, Amanda, "Geez, what if he shows up here and the tires are falling off his car?" And so I call her and I said, "I'm at Town Fair Tire."
I am not kidding you.
And it's true.
And I go, what? I'm like, you're not going to believe this.
She told me the story and I cracked up. I really did. But, Linda's been a blessing, though, if I don't say this, because she's so upbeat all the time, as Cole knows. And I just always positive. And I kind of need that sometimes. I can tend to look at the dark side of things. And I've been going through a tough year with some medical stuff. And she's always upbeat, keeps me smiling. We're always laughing. And, we had a great vacation in May. We took my kids to Captiva Island. Beautiful place. Unbelievable. It's out past Sanibel in Florida. Yeah. But I thought about it, and I'm sitting there and there's all the tiki hut and the people are drinking and everything else. And God is my judge. I'm just sitting there looking around. And I said, if I'm drinking, none of this is happening. And I gave up that one thing. So I'm able to take my kids on a vacation. You sit on the bar stool and talk about, right?
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful. It was something I wanted to do for my kids, and with COVID and couldn't do anything for a couple of years really. And it was just such a great time, a beautiful time. And, and
our Cape excursions with the kids, and, again, building those relationships, that's huge, because, we don't know the damage, but, little by slow.
Absolutely.
And they're all, just.
And then what's it like being in a relationship with someone else that's in recovery? Because how do you the finger pointing. How do you take your own side of the street? So that I'm
Well,
sure that
Call
must
my sponsor.
get interesting, right? Because
You
I'm
have
sure
to
you
have-
want to tell each other to work each other's program,
We
right?
do have separate meetings, though, that
Amen.
we do. Yeah. I mean, she has a women's meeting on normally tonight, and
Yeah.
that she goes to, and I have a men's meeting I go to on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
That I go to, and we have our own programs. I
Yeah.
think
Saturday
we go to a
mornings.
couple of meetings together during the week, but
Yeah.
for the most part, a lot of we have our own separate. I think you need that.
Yeah.
You can be in the boat together, but you need a separate oar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if that works, but so yeah, we keep it separate but together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm grateful she's in recovery. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Me
just,
too.
it's been the healthiest relationship I've ever been in.
That's
Come to
awesome.
find out. Even though she's crazy.
She is crazy.
But
she makes
she's
me
laughing.
look good,
Yeah.
right? 'Cause she's
Yeah.
that shit crazy.
But, I know she cares about me. And
Yeah.
I know we have each other's back.
Absolutely.
And that's
and vice versa. And that's, it's funny because my parents too, and it is,
Did mom and dad like him right away?
oh my God, my mother.
Aren't they
yes.
the best?
Yeah.
her mother likes me more than Linda does.
And my father calls him all the time now. He has his
Nice.
number. But it's just amazing because, especially during the COVID too, where people were isolated and they're so
Yeah.
used to being by themselves, and just how the mind, and that's why it's so important just to surround yourself. We can be on Zoom and do the
Right.
Zoom and stuff, but you could be doing your dishes and not connecting. There's
Yeah.
nothing like showing up and being
I
present.
agree.
And
Yeah.
and that's the whole program. And so that we can, I'll be like, all right, what's going on? Or he'll be like, and I'll just, it's just so funny how we can, and then we'll be like, yeah, all right, I'll talk to you tomorrow, or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, and then I know that he's there. It's just a great thing. I talk too much, but a lot.
You talk all the time.
I
That's
know.
why we love you. We do.
But just all those great things, yes, my parents do. He's just a
Awesome.
great guy.
Yeah, he
He's a
is.
great dad, and my kids love him.
So
And
when you
he's-
had that 16 years and then you relapsed,
Yeah.
your kids, have they recovered from that piece?
I would say yes, because first of all, they hadn't seen me drink. I was
Okay.
sober the whole marriage.
Right.
It happened after I had left, and I drank up in Maine, and my daughters, they knew I was up. We were up there on vacation.
Yeah.
And, they didn't say anything. Probably scared them. I'm
Yeah.
sure they didn't know what to say. But they weren't used to a dad that was drunk,
Mhm.
hanging around the campfire with another drunk across
Right.
the way. And that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
what I'd become to the.
And also your ex was, she's in recovery also. So she was, so
Oh.
that was huge.
Yeah.
With the children,
Yeah.
because, well, I'm assuming, right? I mean, you talked
Yes,
about this.
she was
So no
very
pointing
supportive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going through, and she's even said it's great to see you being the dad you were meant to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where people,
Oh,
a
yeah.
spouse might not understand. They think it's
Correct.
a choice that you're making, and
Yep.
you've lost all of that, and you're held hostage to the substance.
Yep.
And so she was able to explain it to the kids
Awesome.
Like-
Instead of using it
as
a weapon
Bad-
and
bad
everything.
dad.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
That's
right.
a blessing in itself.
right.
It
Yeah.
is, and surprise, surprise, we get along better now than we have in a long time.
Nice.
Yep. And you need to when you're co-parenting. I mean, it makes it easier. It makes it a lot easier. So,
Right. Yeah, you guys got a phone call. Put your headsets on.
Oh, geez.
Let's see what we got going on here.
Ooh.
Hello.
Hi, Cole. It's Michelle.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. It was so good to hear your speakers tonight.
Aren't they
amazing? Yeah, very much so. I'm hoping that maybe someday I'll get to meet them in person.
Yeah.
Linda and John, I could identify so much with your story. I was getting my dinner together, and when John commented that he had 3 children in 5 years, I said, oh boy. And my daughter, who's 17, was sitting having dinner with me, and she said, yeah, Ma, you had 4 kids in 5 years. I said, well, I said it was 3 pregnancies because I have a set of twins, but I was like, that's why I commented, because I totally get it. You know? And you know, I could just totally identify with, you know, when Linda was talking about, you know, just the whole, I just related to like the fears, doubts, and insecurities in the mindset of a person in recovery when they're, you know, using, and the decisions that were poor decisions that we make. And then coming into recovery and like our knees are shaking, you know, we don't know which end is up, and the importance of finding a group of individuals that can support you in your recovery. You know, women with women, men with men. I found a group of women that, oh, goodness gracious, they helped me build my foundation. That's really the only thing I can say. And you know, in November, I know God's willing, I'm willing. So in November, I'll have 14 years, you know, abstinent from drugs and alcohol. And like, that could not have been done without all the things that she talked about. You know, the sponsorship, the step work, attending meetings. Like, and I still attend 3 meetings a week because like I need my medicine. That's you know, and I heard a woman speak about it last week or the week before, and the way she said it to me was just so perfect. It was, you know, if you want a successful recovery, you need to put all the ingredients in, right? If you have a recipe, you're not going to omit, like, I'm not going to reach out to women and call because I don't want them to get to know me because I'm vulnerable and it's hard for me to trust women. Like, that's my story, right? And like, you know, I wanted Cole's job one time before she started, and like, you know, I was like, oh, she's just like way better than me. But no, I put myself out there, and like I met this amazing, incredible woman that like I love, and she's like one of my OGs, you know, like we've hung around numerous times, and it's really fun actually. But you know, yeah, we're a little kooky too.
Yeah.
But yeah, even in recovery, we can be kooky and be proud of our kookiness. But you know, like, so I have to use all the ingredients.
We can even get into fist fights at concerts.
Yep. And be that pop example that you can, like, I don't know about you folks, but I've been in recovery, you know, sometimes, and I've had more fun these last 14 years than I did the 39 years prior that I wasn't. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, like, that's right there. Like, I didn't get clean to be miserable. Like, and actually, I've been clean and I've had a lot of fun. But, you know, it's just, you know, going back to the recipe for success, right? If you want a cake to rise, or if you want cookies, you need to, you know, maybe it wasn't the right term to use, but, you know, you have to put in all those ingredients in the recipe is what I'm saying. You know, do the step work, reach out to other fellows, you know, and John was talking about it too, like doing what you need to do to like stay on the path, you know, and it was so relatable, and you know, I just wanted to share that because, like, me too, you know, and it's a blessing. And if anyone's listening who's considering maybe going into recovery, like, this is what really is a life-saving opportunity. And the drugs will, you know, I just found out a colleague of mine, their son passed away 2 months ago, and you know. It's just unfortunate, you know, to know what the pain that they go through, and the family too, you know. So great job, everyone. It's so good to hear you, and thank you for your commitment to your recovery and to the community. And I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We love you very much.
Thank you.
I love you too, girlfriend. I'll see you soon.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
All right. Bye. I absolutely adore her. She is a widow. Her husband lost his life to this disease, and
Oh,
she's been an incredible mother, and just to witness her journey, and she recently lost like a lot of weight too, and she's just an awesome human being, and she's an example to others out there that we too can recover, because it is September, which is Recovery Month. So we are living proof that you can recover. You just got to do the work, and it's worth it,
oh,
right? It's a life second to none. It's not always what we think we're supposed to have, but you get what God gives, what you need, and it. What a journey! What a
Right?
trip!
I had no idea what I
Absolutely.
needed.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy.
Right. Like we need these big houses and all this
Yeah, you
stuff, and
think.
keep it simple.
Right.
Kiss, keep it simple, stupid. The other thing I wanted to bring up, because it's Recovery Month, Wednesday, September 28th, we are having it's our annual, but we didn't have it because of COVID, coffee and conversation at the Methuen Police Department from 11 to 12. Individuals are going to come over. We have 2 guest speakers that will be sharing their experience, strength, and hope. So that is January 28th. It's on a Wednesday, September 11 to 12, and it will be held in our Sanborn Hall. And it's just it's a great way to bring the community together, and for the men and women in blue to see like people do actually recover, so which is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
keep that in your mind as well. What do you have? I can tell you're ready to say something.
No, I'm just thinking for the young people, though. It's so,
Yep.
last thing I heard about someone who had left the house.
Yep.
I won't mention the name, and then passed away over the weekend.
Yeah.
And you could just the pain in these kids' face that
Yeah.
had lived at the house with them. And they just they couldn't understand it. Like
Yep.
he was doing so well, but he chose to leave. And just like that,
Yeah.
just like that. So it's scary what's out there.
It is, and we should also be thinking of starting another meeting, because I have individuals that will show me a picture, and there'll be like 6 kids and themselves in it, and they'll be the only one left. Everyone has died, So they have the survivor's guilt. Like, why didn't I overdose? Why didn't I die? So I really think that meetings in regards to called survivor's guilt should be in place, because there's a lot of individuals who remain stuck because they're still here, and sometimes go back out because of that guilt. Like, I'm still here and they're not, And bottom line, I really believe that after you've tried and tried and tried, and if you're not going to get it, like, God takes you out of your misery, because there's nothing worse than being an active alcoholic or an active addict and not being able to put it down.
Right.
Like, that is the worst experience. It's hell.
Right.
It's hell while you're here alive, and might as well go to a place where it's peaceful, and where addiction doesn't exist, and it's just a comfort thing. So we got a few minutes left. Do you have any events or anything coming up, or if someone wanted to get into the Kelly House, how would they go about doing that?
As far as the Kelly House, we're presently full. However, Sunday night we have an outdoor meeting.
Yeah.
As long as we can into October, we hope.
Yeah.
At 8:00 p.m.
Yeah.
We circle the chairs outside in the driveway.
Yeah.
And it's a great, it's a good way, first of all, to see the house, see where we're located, right on Lake Quannapowitt. And
what town?
Wakefield,
Yeah.
Wakefield, Mass. And it's a great meeting. We have upwards of like 50 people there.
Is it co-ed or is it men
Yes,
only?
it is. No,
Oh, wow.
Outdoor meetings, co-ed, yeah. And usually we'll have various residents celebrating there.
Awesome.
Now I know this Sunday we have Carl, who will be celebrating 5 years.
Amen.
He's no longer at the house, but he's a frequent visitor back to the meeting on Sunday night. And he's doing awesome. That's my favorite thing, is to see someone come in, bag of green clothes, bag of clothes, and then leave there a year and a half later with their life back together.
Nice.
Nothing better.
Nice. That's
Nothing
awesome.
better.
Cool. Well, I thank you both for kicking off Recovery Month with me and being my guest to kick off the season. This has been an amazing show. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Phil Leahy. Him and I are going to rotate. shows. So he'll be here in 2 weeks. I don't know who his guest is. So it'll be a surprise to us all. And all of those events that are coming up, they will be on MVP ASAP's Facebook page so that you'll have access to them. If you're struggling, please, please, please reach out. You are not alone. We are living proof that you can recover, and you can too. So please reach out. You're not alone. Thank you, Lou, for an amazing night. We'll see you folks in 2 weeks with Phil Leahy. Good night and God bless.